My name is Olivia. This is Books and Big Ideas. This is the first video I've ever made because I meant to. Got this camera like over a year ago. I wasn't going to start until this year of college because like I'd finally have my own room, be good. And then I wanted to do the Booktubeathon, so we're doing it now in my bedroom. And there's weird light because the sun has gone down now, so I have like my desk lamp on, so I'm kind of glowy, but I don't look super pale, so that's good. But yeah, I don't know, I have glasses, they're reflective, whatever. We'll deal with this. I have been on the bookish internet for a while though. I will leave my blog link down below. Yes, I'm filming this at a different point. I'm editing it in because I didn't plan that. Well, I meant to say it, but I didn't. Now, I want to do the Booktubeathon because I've wanted to for a while, and now I'm finally doing it. And the only thing about this, I've never actually done a readathon before, so this will be interesting, but I'm actually not in school right now, so that's good. However, I'm working on moving back into college and getting everything ready and learning how to like cook, and we'll just see what happens. I don't know. I'm not planning on reading a whole bunch, but I want to try. So, there are a lot of challenges with the Booktubeathon. I'm going to try to do 3 of them. Well, no, actually 4 of them. 4 of them. One of them's not a book challenge. We'll see what happens. Again, I don't know what my work schedule will be like. Alright, so this is what I'm planning on reading during a week, which is more than I usually read in a week, so we'll see what happens. I say that a lot now. We'll find out. Okay, so challenge number 2 is read a book about something you want to do. Yeah, I need to write more. I'm almost hitting 20,000 words on my work in progress, WIP, right now, as the cool kids say. And then I have a whole new idea to start something else, but I don't want to do that yet. I want to finish this one right now. And I haven't actually read anything by Stephen King. I've heard this is really good though. Obviously, you know, some of his style stuff I can take it or leave it, but I'm just hoping it'll inspire me more, and it's like a good like nonfiction read a chapter a day kind of thing. And I like to balance out nonfiction with like fiction, short stories, audiobook, whatever. So there's that. Hopefully I will read it, and then I will still probably cart it along with me to college since it's a writing book, but whatever. Speaking of physical books I want to read before I go back to college and don't have them, this is a book with green on the cover. It is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Pretty big. Maybe it counts as having a pretty spine. I don't know. It's very foliage. This really hasn't changed. I saw a first edition of this in the Strand recently. I've read a Marquez book once in my junior year of high school. It was Chronicle of a Death Foretold. I kind of liked it. Can't really speak to translation, but this is like his most famous. It's magical realism, which is a genre I'm really interested in reading, and it's about basically, it says tells the story of the rise and fall, birth and death of the mystical town of Macondo through the history of the Buendia family. I hope I'm pronouncing that right again. I know French, not Spanish, so like my accent's all off. But I'm excited. It's very like dense and small, so we'll find out. Again, this is like, but I just really want to do it before I go back to school. So this has like been on the top of my TBR list for the whole summer. And now we have so there's this one challenge called read a book while wearing a hat the whole time. And I was like, well, I have a hat. I really like this hat. I usually wear it like the days I don't style my hair or wash it. It's not that bad right now. Maybe I'll wear it for the rest of this video. Anyway. But I was like, you know, I can't really control that. If it's a book that I read more than once, it'll be kind of weird. I'll probably forget. But I do have a small book I would like to read. And that is A Purple Summer, which is Notes on the Lyrics of Spring Awakening by Stephen Sater. Now, I got this at the Drama Bookshop, by the way, in New York City recently. It's a great place to visit. So I could easily read this in an afternoon because it's like half it's the lyrics that I already know, and it's really short. But I I really want to read this because I think the lyrics are like the weakest part of Spring Awakening. I mean, I love it in general, but like the tongue-in-cheek music is beautiful, like rock mixed with choir, perfect for me. And then like the story I love, it's based on a play from 1891. The lyrics, I feel like most of them articulate this idea and then just support it with a bunch of like flowery poetics. It doesn't really elaborate or take it that much further or go deeper into it. Then there's some songs I definitely love and think do it well though. Left Behind being one of them. Love that song so much. But yeah. So I'm interested to see what he has to say. He talks about like some of the translations too. Maybe I like the lyrics a little bit more. We'll see. The Purple Summer though, the song of Purple Summer, I'm not a fan of the lyrics in that song. Part of it's because I'm from Indiana. The earth will wave with corn. This just sounds silly to me, but I guess it's different if you're in Germany or New York. The other thing is that I think like choirs tend to do out of and that's not the fault of this, but like choirs do the song out of context, and like just don't do that, please. Especially because I can imagine singing a choir. I'm just like, well, here's a bunch of pastoral imagery, kind of hopeful song. Like, I don't know what this means. But the actual like main like beautiful harmony in the song is like about horses like mating, and you're just like, well, that's kind of weird. And even like people who love this musical and have seen, like everyone's kind of like, that's kind of weird at first. And it took me until like the Genius annotations until I realized like, oh, that's a reference to a monologue Melchior does in like the like halfway through the first act, and that's ridiculous. Kind of like the callback to that. I don't know. I think that's really anyway. This will definitely be a quick read. I definitely don't want to forget before I go back to college, because I'm also probably not going to bring this and probably won't get to it for a long time. So yes, also check out Spring Awakening if you're not into it yet. Music is great, lyrics are great, not the lyric, voices are great, lyrics are mostly okay, I guess. Deaf West version, amazing. I'm not going to go on and on. I could talk about musicals for a long time. Now, the other challenge was to flip a coin. And, which, yeah, I'm only reading 3 books. I'm not going to read 7 books. It's not possible. Like, reading 3 books in a week for me is a lot, even though this one doesn't really count. But this is, like, 2 books, essentially. So, I'm just being realistic here. Now, flipping a coin to find out when we read first. I'm going to do... The only problem is I could realistically see myself reading all 3 of these at, like, essentially in one time, except for this, which I'll just read in the afternoon sometime. So, like, I'll probably just kind of alternate, but I still want to flip the coin, maybe to see which one I start first. So let's do heads for Stephen King, because he's on the cover. He has a head. And then I guess tails, because there's animals on the cover, even though not animals with tails. There's some birds and some snakes. It's for 100 Years of Solitude. So I don't even know how to flip a coin. Like, okay. Okay, can't really show you, but it is heads, so I'm going to start off reading On Writing by Stephen King, and maybe I'll go back and forth between the 2 of them, but we'll see. I usually don't do that if I'm reading physical books. I usually do that if I'm reading like an audiobook, ebook, and then physical books, which I am currently all reading. No, I finished my physical book. I'm reading an audiobook and ebook right now. Anyway, that's my TBR. Maybe I'll do videos. I don't know if I'll do daily videos. Depends on my schedule. Never took this hat off. I don't really care. We'll see. I said that already. Maybe that will just become a catchphrase here. Alright. I'm going to sign out.